Well, she's a fat girl. Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I put the Fat Ninja up on the lift, and what I'm going to do is do a valve clearance check and adjustment if necessary. The valve clearance check and adjustment is periodically recommended in the service data. I'm actually over that number right now. It's like 16,000 and then like 32,000. I'm at 38 or something, but it's not too terribly bad. I originally did do a valve clearance check. I don't know, it was about 4 or 5 years ago, I guess, when I did it. When I hit that 16K, I think it was. It may have been at 20, I don't remember. I have it all written down, but I did that check, and there wasn't anything out of tolerance, but there was a couple that were close. So what I've done is I've ordered all the parts I need for it, which I'm going to go over here with you in a second. And the purpose of these videos, and I say videos in plural because I think there's going to be more than one, is to go over this in detail. Now, I'll explain what I'm going to do here in a moment, but let's go over the, both the hard and the soft parts. I figure we'll get hard first. Show you the hard stuff first. This is a hot cams shim kit. It's I think was it 9.48 millimeter diameter and different thicknesses. Now the only downside of these hot cams kits is they only come in 0.05 millimeter increments. And the stock shims come in 0.025 increments, so they're a little easier to dial it in. But I've never really had a problem with that on other bikes. I've used these several times, and you can get it close enough. If anything, you put it slightly on the larger side depending on the valve. Like on the exhaust side, I would definitely do that, not necessarily the intake. But forgot where I was. The UPS guy showed up with some pots, but anyway, I think I said all I need to say about that. I haven't had a problem with doing it. The next get it hard part is, of course, some spark plugs. Now, it doesn't need to be changed plug wise, probably not, because I put iridiums in there last time, but this is such a pain in the butt to get at in there. You might as well just change them whenever you're in there. Now we'll get over to the soft stuff. We have a head cover gasket. This is the main gasket that goes around the whole deal. And a bunch of other stuff that, frankly, only a few things I actually know where they go. Like, for example, these are around the, what are they called? The stick coils. These are the stick coil gizmos, and these are something, I don't know. I think these are the seals for the actual bolts. As far as the O-rings and the gasket goes, I honestly don't know, except for this one. This one is the crank cover side, which you can't see right now because it's buried like everything else, but I do know that one. Now I'll show you what you do with these things. If you get a bunch of parts in, or you ordered online or otherwise, and you just don't know exactly where they go. These particular ones here are, I think, custom, and I'll go over them separately. But as far as the Kawasaki branded stuff, like I said, if I can't remember exactly where this goes, I'll show you how we can use the parts fish and drill down and then see what this ring-O is for, and then we'll write it on it what it's for, or where it goes. This is a Partzilla website. You can use any one you want that shows OEM parts. And I have it on the Kawasaki page, but you don't have to, which is one of my quick links. Any of these search boxes are going to work on this particular one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in this pot number, which is 92055, and then the dash 1639. And it says Ringo, like Ringo Starr. Must be a musician O-ring or something. I don't know. But anyway, this is what we're going to do. We're going to click on that, and then you just see an O-ring, but you go down here and it'll give you application. Now you go right there. Let me zoom up on that, and you see we've got 2020 Concours 14, and then you can scroll down. That's going to be the same, I can guarantee you. But if you really want the actual item, this is a 2012 Concours 14 ABS, so you click on that, and it'll show you the system that it goes in. In this case, it'll be the engine top end, or cylinder head cover. And all you do is look for that part number either on the drawing or over here. Well, you're gonna have to look at it on the drawing anyway. You're gonna have to find it. So, you know, the other parts fishes will have a corresponding number, like number 12, and then a part number, and you just look over here for 12. Kawasaki does not do that. They just have the part number as the actual reference on the drawing. Lucky us. 92055, 1639. 92055 is a very common first 5 digits on pretty much just about every O-ring you can buy from Kawasaki. For some reason they put it in that category. Here's 92055 right there, and we will go over here to 92055, and you have to look over here for the 4 digits that go afterwards. And so that's that one. All right, so now we know that that's that one. Where the hell was it again? It was over here. So that is the pressure sensor. Okay, so whatever that means, I'm not sure what it does, but either way, you've got an O-ring for it. And he provided 2 other O-rings, and I don't remember exactly what they're for. What I'm gonna have to do is look on the website. Okay, and who is, I shall show you here in a second, or whom that may be. I get a lot of stuff from murphskits.com. Gary Murphy, I believe he's up in, I don't know, Tennessee or something like that. And you can go right into Kawasaki and then click on, I guess, Concours 14 GTR. You see it right there. And then we click on that, and he sells a kit. This is where I got this kit from. So I go over to Tune Up and Valve Adjustment, which is right there. You click on that. And here's the soft kit that I got. Let me zoom up on that. So he shows the soft kit, and I think he explains it somewhere where each one of those things goes. But you know, I'm gonna figure it out. It's not a big deal. There is an oversized O-ring for the camshaft sensor, which is there. That would be this guy right there, because they are known to leak. I bet you, I don't know why he included that one. I'm gonna have to email him and ask him, but I bet you he's got, because he has 2 of those custom O-rings, probably one for each. They're a little oversized. I've already done this mod on my bike on that sensor right there. That's camshaft positioning sensor. I did that a long time ago, so I already have an oversize in there, so I'll just use one of his to replace it, because I think that's got to come out. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember. But so let's turn around to the bike then, and let's get to it. Stop screwing around with the computer. Okay, so he's got the original OEM part numbers on there. We'll look that up later, but you know what I'm talking about. We can just look that up and see where he's suggesting or wants those to go. We're not suggesting, but where they're designed to go to. As you might imagine, this is a big job. Okay, this is a big in-depth job because everything's so deep, number one, and number two, there's like no room to work in there. There's also operations in, you know, the service manual, the service data that you should follow, and I already have that printed out here. Now, how I do this is I go through to the main page, which is essentially, that's not this one because that's a subsystem, but if I go to cylinder head cover and cams, because we know we got to take the cylinder head cover off. So what's the procedures for that? So obviously remove the fairings, air suction valve, cover bolts, the left subframe. They don't mean this subframe, by the way. They mean one on the other side. I'll show you that at a later time when I get that off. And the stick coils, which of course are, you know, long gizmos down into the spark plugs, recessed. Inlet camshaft position sensor, and you know, we'll anything else we need to do. And then what I do is I look through, when it says here like C air suction valve, C middle fairing removal, I print that stuff out. I don't need the fairing instructions because I've taken this fairing off, I don't know, about 600 billion times. So I don't need that. But if you're doing this for yourself, or you at least want to do a check, which is certainly doable by the home gamer, then you know, you're going to have to tear it down and definitely follow the service data. But like I said, I don't need to do that part. Now, the only caveat that you probably see right here is these canning cage bars. These are no longer available. They were made by, oh, I forgot who manufactured them. Geez, I can't remember. I'll think of it. But I think they're still in business, but they don't make these anymore. It's the same company that makes the, or made at least, they call them the towel rack bars. You see them on police motorcycles like BMWs and stuff. So I got this is an original set of the original first run of the Canyon cage bars. And so I've had these on for quite a while. I've modified mine a little bit so you can actually take each side off independently and not take the center bolt out to the engine mount. I did that because I don't like the fact that when you take that bolt out and you have these two bolts out, and there's basically two fastener points on the bottom holding the engine in, and this engine is heavy. So I changed that, and whenever I take these out, I take the original ones and I put them back in and bolt that engine solid, because I'm just that way. So basically, I'm not going to go through the process of showing you how to take the all the fairings and outside plastics and stuff off. In fact, I'm going to do it the easy way. I pulled out my magic parts remover strobe light, and this works really well. All you do is point it at what you you want to take off or disassemble, and then you push this button, and when you do that, poof, everything is disassembled that you pointed at. So I'm going to activate it now, and then voila. Sweet. Here's the right side and our left side. Sir Barks-a-Lot has not been very good today, so he's been in a bad mood, just making a lot of noise. So I guess that's just the way dogs are. They bark. Okay, so we got get a lot of stuff out of our way, because there's the head cover underneath this rubber condom, and a lot of these are called the subframes. There's one on each side, and this bracket deal is, I don't know, part of that. We got to get all this out of the way and then follow the service data for the rest of it. There's like a valve or something, air valve, or I forgot what side it's on, but I'm going to be doing that, not necessarily on camera, but I'll put the camera on and off periodically as I take things apart when I think that there's something that needs to be mentioned. Otherwise, you just follow the service data. And if you have an updated, ignition timing strobe light that actually takes apart metal parts, because mine only works on plastic, that's why we can't use it here. I may have to send it in for an upgrade, get a little bit more updated voodoo on it, so the magic works. Unfortunately, it just won't work on this. Just follow the service data, and then you can just do your thing. Now, this is the, I think they call it the not timing cover, but the crank pickup cover or something. We're going to end up taking this off because we're going to have to bar the motor over, I forgot which way, from this spot on the crank. I'm not going to do that now because I'm not going to set this on 1 and 4 on the timing marks in there yet. I like to do that when the head cover's off, because 1 and 4 means top dead center for either 1 or 4. And I want it on the compression stroke ready to fire on number 1. Not on number 4, and you can easily do that. You can be 360 degrees off. So the way I do that is when I have the head cover off, I bar this over and watch number 1 intake valves. In this case, there's 2 of them. Open and then close. Now I know I'm on the compression stroke. Bring it up to 1 and 4 at that point, and now I know I'm on number 1. So we're going to get all this stuff out of the way. I'm going to get all this stuff out of the way. He's not going to help me. He's lazy. He's over there freaking sleeping, for crying out loud. He never helps me. And then we'll get in there and do our thing. It says to fold up the condom. So I don't remember if I just did that or if there's a way to take it out, because it is a prick to get in here, as you can see. It is really, really tight. But I'll get things taken apart here, and then you get a better view. We'll show you one thing here. You got to get this bar off here. This is in the way. And most of the fasteners, which are 10 millimeter, size head, but M6 by 1s, you can get at, I think the one that goes this way. I used a just regular impact driver on extension, the actual 10 millimeter job. But there's one going in like this, and it's kind of down in there. It's hard to see. You can, let me see if I can show you, but I don't think I can. I think you can just see the head of it through that little hole right there. And you can get in there and get behind there and take that off with a little ratchet, which is what I'm going to do. I remembered those though because I had this in for a warranty job when I first owned it, because the head cover gasket was leaking, which isn't terribly uncommon with some of these. And the dealership forgot to put them in. and I noticed that there was some vibration or something, and I took things apart and found that, and I was naturally not happy because I had to do their work as usual. But I'll go ahead and get that out. We'll get this bar out and continue taking stuff off of this side, then move over to the other side. Okay, yeah, I goofed. You got to take this panel off too, but it isn't very hard. There's 2 screws that go back on this side into the outer panel, or that middle fairing, whatever it's called, and then 2 screws on the inside. And I do see, I remember doing this now. I think may have broken or cracked something at one time when I was taking this apart. Probably not reading the service data, so that's kind of evidence that needs to come out. But either that or somebody else did it. I don't know. All right, so now I can get it. You kind of see it now from up in there. It's really a prick to get at. It's that one right there. We'll just take a wrench and we'll get it out now. Well, we got the left side is the more busy side. It's got bracket and sub brackets and things that go here and there, and take pictures definitely. I don't need to because I got video here, but you know, I've taken this apart before and done this, so it's not terribly bad. When you start putting things back together, you'll see where they fall, because the wires, they all sort of want to fall where they're, you know, where they've been living for a while, the memory of them, the memories. All right, so before I disconnect anything, I want to disconnect the battery. I want to explain why I haven't done that so far. And it's because of this, because of that. Because if you don't have any battery, you can't open this up. And you got to remove this pocket. I forgot about that. The pocket's got to come out of the way. So if this was closed, disconnect the battery, you can't get at the little push nails. They call them push nails that go in these little holes. You can't get at them. And so I leave the battery hooked up because I know that this thing is a pain in the ass. And so I guess you can take it out earlier if you want, but I didn't do it. So now I can disconnect the battery, and then I'm going to blow all this out with air compressor, because this, you know, with my air nozzle, because it's just dirty. This is dirtier than, well, me. So let's do that, disconnect the battery, and then we'll blow it out. I don't need to pull the battery to do this, because I can just disconnect it here. That's where the main ground goes, but I just want to get this out of the way so I can access that better. And if you have a Concours 14 and you want to do any work on it yourself, especially like change a battery, do yourself a favor and go on to Parts Fish and get you a couple of these extra. These are notorious for seizing up, because I think they use Loctite on them, and depending on who worked on it last, some freaking Sasquatch tightened these things up, then there's a good chance you're going to round these things out, and then you got to chisel them out or drill them. So keep a couple of these on hand. If you can't find them in a Parts Fish, reach out to me and I'll tell you which ones they are by part number. But it's a good idea to have a couple of these in stock. Some other ones, but we'll discuss those another time, because that's part of another job. But yeah, ugh, dirty. Noise alert. Well, that's a little better, but I'm gonna reach in there, you know, as I move things around with a damp rag, microfiber, and try to get some of the rest of it off. Remember, all I really have to do is worry about the stuff that's above this location right here. I don't want it to fall down the engine. So I can get that pretty well cleaned out when I start moving stuff around, especially after I get the condom out of the way. It says fold it forward. I just don't, or maybe back, I don't remember. I don't remember if I took it out before last time or not. I don't think I did. I think I'm going to dislodge the throttle cables by just taking the 2 screws out, and that way I can just get the throttle cables pushed up out of the way too, because naturally they come right across where I need to work. The other thing I wanted to point out was, while I'm doing this job, once I get it done, I'm going to do my best to get in there and do a vacuum synchronization of the throttle bodies. Now, I've never done that before, and I understand it is a real pain in the ass job, because you can see right there, there's one of the vacuum caps. That would be for number 1. And I can't even see the cap for the next one in there. I don't know where it is. So I'm going to have to move stuff around, look at the service data procedures on that, which I'm sure don't tell me a whole hell of a lot. But that'll be after the valves are adjusted, if they need adjusting at all. So after that's all done, that's when I'll do that. And that's pretty much typical of what you want to do with any inline 4 motorcycle, or even twins or anything that requires synchronization. You want to do the valves first. Do your valve clearance check first and then sync it, because the valve clearances will affect the synchronization. Because of course, if you have a very tight intake valve and now you put it back into spec, the duration will be just slightly longer on its how long it stays open. You know, of course, this has variable valve timing, so it's relative to that, but it'll still be a little bit different. So we do the valve clearances first, then we do the sync. Like I said, I don't even know if I can do it. I don't know if I have the patience to do that or what, but I got to figure out how to get in there and put the you know, the vacuum lines from my Carb Tune Pro in there, and then we can do a sync. I'm not really sure where the adjusters are either, to be honest with you. So there's one of them. That's an adjuster. Well, no, that's not an adjuster. I thought it was. That has something to do with the butterflies, secondary butterflies. That would be the middle guy right there. I think they're called secondaries, but that's for the butterflies. So I'm not really sure, you know, where the adjusters are as far as synchronization of the actual throttle bodies, because, you know, there's your main right there. The butterfly would be in line with that, and I just don't see anything. I can't get in to see anything. So I can get at the vacuum caps. I can see them on all four now. I can't show you that because I have to move some stuff around. But the vacuum caps are accessible, I think. If I reach in there with the right tool, like a bent pair of long needle nose, I might be able to get that pretty easy. But I'm just gonna have to review the service data, because I honestly do not know what I'm supposed to turn here to adjust these things mechanically. So I'll get back to you on that. How's that sound? Two nuts in one. You know, on third thought, we'll just close it out as part one, because it's probably long enough for that anyway. I'm boring the shit out of you. I know I am. We'll just close that out as part one. So stand by for part 2 and 3 and 15, whatever this takes, to get this done, and we'll show you how she looks once we get more stuff out of the way and get the head cover off and start actually adjusting, well, I should say checking the valve clearances and maybe making some adjustments. Now, making some adjustments is, and I'll summarize with this to close out the video, that is, adjustments on this means the cams have to come out, because this is a shim under bucket cam, or cam lifters, I should say. The actual cam lobes go on the top of the bucket and the shims are underneath and they contact the valves. All right, so shim under bucket. So you have to pull the cams out to get at those shims, and then you can pop the buckets off. So of course there'd be 2, 2, 2, and 2, because it's a 16 valve motor, and so 4 valves per. And so what I would do in that situation is I would follow the service data procedure, which I've already reviewed, for taking the cams out. And I will do one cam at a time. So if I had a couple on exhaust side over here, and I had a couple on the intake side over here, I would simply probably do the intake side first and then the exhaust side, but I would do them individually. And then there's a service data procedure for retiming the motor with the cam chain, which is very similar to even an old KZ1000, where you tighten up the exhaust side of the cam, where it comes a cam chain rather, on that particular gear, making sure that you're on top dead center number 1, and then you'll line up a mark that lines up with the head of the actual cylinder head, top of the cylinder head, and then you count over a certain number of teeth, or not teeth, but links. Now the nice thing about this motor is the cam is actually really close. I think it's to this end here. It's like right over here, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. I can't remember. Oh, obviously, doy. Here's the tensioner. Duh. I tell you what, it's getting hot and I'm getting tired, so I don't want to make any more mistakes, so that's why I'm going to close this out now. There's your tensioner, so your chain's got to be right there. So your end of your cam with your gear is right there. It's going to be real easy to see. That's not going to be a hard part. Hard part's going to be just getting in there and doing it. So speaking of doing it, we'll pick it up on the next video and we will do it. Thanks for watching.